How to make a man reach out to you. 8 rules that I will list today. Use them in your life and you are guaranteed to become even happier in a relationship with a man. Be sure to watch the video to the end, because the last rule will give you 100% understanding of who is next to you and what are the prospects for your relationship. So let us go. The first rule, remember it once and for all. Never be imposed and do not try to loom before the eyes of a man in his information field 24/7! If you do this, men will begin to perceive you as some kind of limitation in their lives, perhaps as some kind of control, and maybe even as toxicity. Very many girls in the period of falling in love with a man, hear "I liked him," throw all their affairs in general, and they completely immerse themselves only in a man. Good morning, how are you feeling, how did you send, how did you eat, how did you pee, how did you poop, what were you thinking, and what are you going to do, and many others. When a woman falls in love with a man, there is a very important rule that you must remember. In no case do you give up those deeds, interests and values that are already present in your life. My recommendation: add to this list that you already have at least 2 more jobs. Well, for example, you have sports, there are some trainings, lectures, courses, studies, and you add 2 more. Well, for example, dancing and drawing. What is it for? Your task is to provide yourself with an uninterrupted supply of hormones of joy and happiness, emotions that do not depend on men. In this case, the men who are next to you will awaken the huntress instinct in themselves. That is, it will be interesting for him to look for you, to lure you, to be interested in you, to be with you in the same space and field. That is, he will have a desire to get in touch. This is not to say that you should use one-sided play. Let him call, and I am all such a princess. In no case will I write to him and call him. No, you cannot obsessively exchange some messages, but this should not be such a vile despondency. What are you doing? The man asks a question. Yes, I don't know. I am going to get so-and-so. So-and-so. No. A man must understand that you are in development, that he met an equal person if he is mature. Therefore remember the first rule naturally, apply it in your life and in no case violate it. Whose relationship starts with this?
The second very important point: slow down the rapid development of relations. As practice shows, many girls who headlong, thoughtlessly, without discussing anything, succumb exclusively to the emotions of falling in love and fly into a relationship with their heads. They regret it very much in the end. Your task is not to rush in order to understand and realize who is next to you. Of course, you need time and fly into relationships similar to incarceration. I can tell you not only as a psychologist, but also as a teacher of psychology. A family is a structure, and the period of falling in love, unfortunately, is perceived by many people as a period of love. Most of the couples, just in the period of falling in love, confess to each other in love. The third, very important point that every modern girl and woman needs to pay attention to. This is of course to use the technology of live communication. The fact is that various instant messengers are now very common. For example, the social network, Instagram. You can go into it and, in principle, understand what a person is doing. And in this format you become absolutely accessible for a man. The fourth very important rule: in no case, do not feed the vanity of a man. Modern men, young guys, have such a pronounced, inflated ego, where such narcissistic habits are very often observed, considering themselves almost gods and masters in this world, and certainly a lot of girls, especially as I said with unhealthy self-esteem, begin to overwhelm a man with compliments. They say the phrase, "I can't even imagine how I will live without you. You are the best man in the world. Why can't this be done? You don't know who's in front of you." And during the period of falling in love, both men and women become a little hypocrites. Yes, bad news, but it's true. No one during the dating period will show his true face. Next rule, very important: in no case, do not try to be different from everyone else. Yes, very often now you can pay attention to that. How women try to be like each other, this similarity. It is broadcast in absolutely everything. In fashion, in hairstyles, in clothing style, even plastic surgery has certain trends. One went and pumped up her lips, made her nose, ears, chest, enlarged her ass. And this trend applies to all women who are insecure about themselves. And they think for some reason that if we go for such a similarity with a social construct, then in this way we will somehow influence the fact that a mature man appears next to us. The next very important point, don't get hung up. This problem destroys femininity. Sexuality and self-esteem vary significantly. Went on a date and can't sleep, and it starts. I was on a date with a young man and had such a good time. But tonight he hasn't written anything yet, he didn't call. And I understand that this is written by a woman with destroyed self-esteem. She is so uninteresting in life. She is so uninteresting to herself that her life looks gray. Well, as I told you, a very important point, which, in principle, is fundamental. And if you ignore it, the consequences will be the most unpredictable. What does this paragraph say? Your task is to infiltrate the camp of a man. What is it about? Your task is to bring the relationship with him to the level where you get to know his environment. It is very important. Surrounded by a successful, mature man, a redneck team cannot be. See who your male is talking to. Look at the behavior of a person in society. Good man, good in everything. Thanks everyone for watching this video. Like, subscribe to the channel and use my advice.